Thanks, Jonathan. Thanks, everybody, for taking the time to look at our new product that we just launched. And thank you very much to the folks at Retail Realm, Jonathan and Action, for making this happen. We're going to go through a series of slides that kind of just talks about the application and some of the benefits to customers and to partners. And I think we're going to be opening it up for questions near the end. So let's just get started. We developed the application sort of to help customers be closer to their point of sale and get more knowledge and more in-depth knowledge of what's going on at their store at any given time. One of the biggest differentiators between the application that we've developed and a lot of the stuff that we've seen out on the market. Let's see if my screens here are working. Again, the main driver behind the application is to bridge the gap between information and action. So what we found was that there's a lot of KPI reporting platforms out in the market that give all sorts of interesting information to a mobile device or a remote, and that's becoming more commonplace these days. We wanted to focus in the area of being able to give customers real-time sales information so that they can translate that information in action. So, you know, for example, if they're overstaffed compared to the sales volume at any given point during the day, they can actually call the store. If they're a remote operator, they can call the store and change their schedule, send somebody home, bring somebody in, something that can be done in real time. We wanted to create something that was easy to understand and had streamlined information that comes to a mobile device. Okay, so very straightforward, gives you the main pieces of information that someone might be able to make a decision upon, again, all in real time. Deployment and support was a big issue. We wanted to make sure that we created the right tools and the installation method for dealers and for customers to be able to easily install the application at the point of sale. And again, cost becomes a very big consideration in a lot of existing sites. And a lot of customers that we've been speaking with have multiple sites. Another thing that differentiates us from the market is StoreLizard has the ability of communicating with several types of point-of-sale applications. So you may have a store owner that owns 3 different concepts, for example, and one of them is running RMS. Another store could be running a completely different POS system, and we wanted to create something whereby we can gather all information from all 3 stores and push that information live to their one handset, one mobile device. So again, some of the just top-line benefits for the StoreLizard application. All information is streamed live to the customer's handset in real time. Big focus on delivering essential sales and labor information. So we'll have a lot of sales metrics, labor information, and again, these would be geared, the information that an RMS customer would see on their handheld device would be geared to the metrics that are built into RMS. So for example, sales and returns, discount levels seems to be a very big thing at the front end, customer turnover, number of transactions in a day. And those metrics might be completely different for someone who's using StoreLizard for, let's say, a hospitality point-of-sale application. Big on our list was also to maintain PCI compliance. We want to ensure that we're installing software at the store that is not preventing an operator from attaining PCI compliance. So we've designed and architected it in such a way that it does not hinder it. We wanted a lightweight and quick installation at the store level. Installations can range between 3 and 5 minutes. We've done a pretty good job on configuring pre-configured drivers for the store, so you know a customer can install or a dealer can install the application and is presented with a list of drivers appropriate for the point of sale that they're running. In this case, it would be an RMS. The entire application is hosted in the cloud. That gives us the ability of scaling the resources at the cloud level depending on how many customers are signed up and using the application over time. Encryption was also a big top-of-mind item. So we have end-to-end SSL plus some proprietary encryption at the store level just to ensure the information is safe. And again, we can work on different point-of-sale platforms at different locations. And there's no limit really to the number of stores that can be configured on one user's account. And as I hinted to before, there's a lot of tailored reports. So what an RMS customer might see on their mobile device might be completely different than from someone who's using a hospitality POS or even a pharmacy POS and so on. Again, there's a few common denominators, and we've paid some attention to that. So, for example, the sales report will look similar for all three locations, so that we're streamlining that information, so that if they're swapping between different stores, if they're looking at different stores, there are some common denominator pieces of sales. It's almost like a no-brainer. So we try to normalize the data across multiple stores, even though we're speaking to different POS platforms, just so that it's more understandable at the consumer level. And as of today, we have a free iOS and Android version. Just a bit on the architecture. I hope everybody can see the screen. But on the left side here, we have the point-of-sale terminal that's sitting on the Internet. And really, any terminal, the client software that sits at the store is connected to the Internet, is running a Windows operating system. And the application runs in the background, very lightweight, and publishes information to the cloud host. And we've done all the work in the background, take that information from the cloud host and push it out to the mobile devices, depending on what the user login is. Now, I've put up some screenshots of what the reports might look like on a handheld device, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to fast forward over some of these slides, and we're going to just take a look at the software in a live mode. And maybe right after the presentation we can pause here just before we do that. So I'm just going to kind of scan through some of these fairly quickly. Built-in graphing components, as you can see, so we can configure some of these reports based on the point-of-sale system that it's talking to. The reports that you see here are actual RMS configured reports. Hourly sales seems to be a very popular report among users. We're also looking at overlaying camera information onto the sales information. So if somebody wanted to look at their device and see how busy their store was compared to their sales volume, they can certainly do that in one spot. Okay. So again, we're going to take a look at a live demo of the application in just a couple of minutes here. I'm just going to go through the final stages here. At the installation level, any customer can download, or anybody can download the application from iTunes or Play Store and look at sample data. So there's a demo mode right on the application. So without having to install any software in the store or having to configure any databases, the application can be installed, and there's just a demo login button, and you can kind of scroll through and take a look at the multi-site functionality and some of the reports, depending on the vertical that you're looking at. And installation at the site, again, we tried to pay attention to make it as streamlined as possible. So the process is pretty straightforward. We have a website where your customers can register online. So they basically create an account using their email address or whatever email address they use. Once there's a registration, you'll be directed to a download page, and you'll be able to install the appropriate client for the POS that you're using, and there's installation instructions. Once the client is deployed on the terminal at the store, whether it's the server or one of the terminals that has internet access, essentially you log in, use the same account information at the store that you do on your mobile device, and any device that's logged in with that account will gain access to that information. As of today, for the RMS platform, we've tested and certified RMS 2.0, Service Pack 4, Feature Pack 2. Why would clients be interested in having this application, why would channel partners be interested in pushing an application with the deployment of any RMS installation? As with all add-ons in the market, they add value to a customer's already made investment. Channel partners can retain and attract more customers based on the entire solutions, so not just point-of-sale application, but add-ons, customization, and so on. And this just could be another piece of, or another add-on that can enhance the overall solution. Really, there's no maintenance behind the product. We do all the work at the back end to maintain the drivers. So if there's a new version of RMS or RMS 3.0, for example, that has a different database structure, we do all the maintenance in the back end by maintaining all the drivers. The application itself at the store is very lightweight and requires little to no maintenance whatsoever, since we do host and change all the drivers that are required at the store. So those updates are automatic. And it's, of course, it's free to customers and partners. So it's a nice little add-on to have, just to be able to have information. It's not intrusive to the point of sale. It's not writing information to the database. It is a read-only application. So with that, thank you very much. I'm not sure, Jonathan, if you want to open up for some questions before we move on to the software demonstration, or if we should just push through it.
Yeah, if you guys have any questions, feel free to submit them, and we can get to them. So it looks like we have one or two up here. So first question, will you have a Windows Phone version?
Yes, we're already looking at the Microsoft OS Windows Phone version, and estimate at this point is probably January or February for a Windows OS version.
Okay. Can you uninstall the software at any time?
Absolutely. Once you install the software at the store, it is, again, just read-only. It's not creating any additional hooks into the system. It's not modifying anything. So it's as easy to uninstall as it is to install. So, yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So another question we have is, can you share with us a little bit about your background and company in the retail space? How long have you been in business, etc.?
My background actually is point of sale. Me and David Pave, who's also on the call with us, were co-founded PixelPoint in 1992, and we ran that company for about 20 years. And PixelPoint, I'm not sure if you're familiar with it, but it's a point-of-sale application for restaurants. And throughout the 20 years, our model was to sell our product and support the product through a channel distribution. And so we have a lot of experience in developing software applications. We've grown that PixelPoint platform to almost 30,000 clients over the 18 years or 20 years or so, with supporting about 180 dealers worldwide. So it was an extensive application that supported multiple countries. We developed specific applications for different countries and adaptations for tax rules and so on. So that's our background. We decided to write an application for retail, and actually this is going to be an application that's designed for any POS. We wanted to provide something to customers that they can use that provides real-time information. We did a bit of research on the internet and found that there wasn't really a lot of applications that are doing that today. Certainly there's some vendors out there or software developers out there that are creating applications. However, you have to be using their specific platform to be able to use it. So we haven't really found something that was point-of-sale agnostic. And of course, we started with the RMS platform as a driver. And we plan to have support for other point-of-sale systems in the future. So.
Okay, that's it for the questions right now. Feel free, if you guys have them, send them on in. We're going to take a look at a live version of the application.
So is that up on the screen there?
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay, good. So when you download the application from Play Store or iTunes, you're going to be presented with the login screen. And you'll notice on the login screen, you have a demo login section. So just in the bottom left here, I'm going to go ahead and just click that. So at this point, the application is actually, it's native to your mobile device. In a multi-site environment, and let's say that you have an operator with 3 stores, whether they're all 3 RMS or different point-of-sale applications at different stores, first screen the user is presented with is the total sales for the day for each of the stores. So if a user wants to take a look at their retail store to see how they're doing, they just select a store that they want to work with. And the system now is providing real-time information from that store. So the first reports is a sales report, and you'll notice that we have left and right buttons, which can become very convenient, but you can also swipe across the screen. Now, out of all, there's 5 reports that are displayed on the mobile device, and the user can configure the order or which reports they want to display on the mobile devices, and so that's a configuration that's done at the store level. In this case, you have an hourly sales report, who's currently on staff, live graphing component, category sales, department sales. Right back to the screen. So if you wanted to, one big feature here is depending on how the software is configured at the store level, you can hit the calendar item on the bottom of the screen, and that'll give you a list of past sales. And based on the configuration, currently it stores 7 days worth of information. So you can really go back to any day within the last 7 days to see how that day was doing. So for example, on the bottom you can see a running week-to-date total sales. So if I wanted to take a look at Friday, let's say it was Monday and I haven't looked at my phone all weekend, and I'm a store operator and I wanted to see what the weekend was like, I can go back to Saturday and take a look. And again, you get presented the same reports, obviously with data from that day, and you can see the data that's on the top of the screen there. In a multi-user environment, a user could hit the home screen and go back and now take a look at the restaurant demo. And we'll just for illustration purposes, you can see that once we select the restaurant demo, same formatted report, again, the common denominator being sales, but you can see that some of the terms and the KPIs in this report are a little different. So in a food environment, this is a sample report from a different POS, other than RMS, for example. You can see that sale types, for example, is a big thing on that report. Refund is a big item. So I mean, you still have customer count, you still have transaction count, you still have an average sales per transaction. So we try to normalize and give some common denominators across all different POS for people that are using StoreLizard to manage more than one store. And again, same idea applies where you can swipe across the screen to move over to the next report. Again, who's currently on shift for that day. You can see that it's geared for food here, obviously. Hourly sales, again, this is the same report that you see in the other system. So there are a lot of commonalities between the reports. In this case, they've got a security system installed in that store, and it's overlaying that information with the sales report. Okay, so if I hit the home button again, if I have a third store and let's say it's a salon in this case, and again, you can see the common denominator. So we have total sales and returns. So we have some of the KPIs are identical across the board, so they can make valid comparisons. But some of the information is obviously custom in terms of cuts and colors and blow dries and so on. And again, they have a camera interface. So again, very simple to use, live streaming of sales information for customers.
All right, so if any of you guys have any other questions, feel free to submit them. If we don't get to them now, I will can get those over to Lino. I'm sure he can answer them offline. So I guess we'll just wait a little bit. If any of you guys have anything or have anything to say, submit that right now. And just so you guys are aware, this is being recorded and you guys can check it out offline on YouTube, on the Retail Realm YouTube page. So that looks like it'll do it. So Lino, thank you so much. That was a great Great presentation. Thank you for the live demo and answering the questions. And on behalf of Retail Realm, I want to thank everyone for taking the time out of their day and getting online. So I think that'll conclude the webinar. Thank you, everyone. Thanks again, Lino.
Thank you to everyone, and thanks, Jonathan.